Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. What's up, you guys? Can you guys hear us? Hello, hello. Perfect. Let me check the chat, make sure it's coming through. But I am so excited to get into this. What's up, TE? How's it going? BBE Fluffy, how are you? Raymar, what's up, what's up? Okay, guys, we are going to get straight into it. Today, I have a very special guest, Yakitoriguy. He's going to be breaking down a whole chicken. And then once he gets to the thigh portion, he's going to show me how to trim it. And we're going to put it on these skewers. And then we're going to cook it on this grill. So I'm very excited. Yakitoriguy, introduce yourself. Who are you? What do you do?
All right. Thanks, Lisa. So I'm Yakitoriguy, and we're going to be making some yakitori today. So we're going to be breaking down this chicken. For those of you guys who don't know, yakitori, it is a Japanese cuisine of grilled chicken. Yaki means grilled, and tori means chicken or bird. So it's the whole art of breaking down a whole chicken and taking all the different parts of the chickens, whether it's the wings, the breast, the thighs, the skin, even other parts like the neck, heart, liver, all those different parts. You can take those and have different skewers, and you grill them, and you can enjoy them as different bites. Sort of like when you go to a sushi restaurant, you get to enjoy all the different cuts of fish. Same thing with yakitori. From one whole chicken, you can make about 25 skewers. So about maybe 13 different pairs of skewers you can make from one whole chicken. So today I wanted to show basically Lisa and anyone else, every one of you guys, thanks for joining in, watching, basically how to break down a whole chicken and make skewers out of it. And we don't have too much time today, so we're gonna be focusing on the negima. Negi means onion, and ma means in between. So this is a chicken thigh and onion skewer called negima. It's one of the most popular, sort of the standard yakitori skewer. So I wanted to show Lisa how to make the negima. So, all right, seems like a lot of you guys have messages and questions. So definitely I'll let sort of Lisa take charge of the flow and moderation side of things, but I'm gonna go ahead and start breaking down this chicken if everyone is ready. How's it going, Lisa?
Yeah, hello everyone. So we'll be looking at the chat. If you guys have any questions, let us know. We'll be answering it throughout. But we're gonna watch Yakitoriguy break down this chicken. I am not doing it because it's gonna take me way too long. But once he gets to the thigh portion, that's when I'll jump in and we'll do it together. So go for it.
All right, cool. And anyone in the comments, if you guys have had yakitori before, love to see sort of what your favorite yakitori skewers are or restaurants are. Definitely love to see that. And just a quick plug, if you guys have additional sort of questions and want to learn more about yakitori, I do have a YouTube channel, Yakitoriguy, so definitely go check that out. I'm on TikTok and Instagram as well. But today, I wanted to show you guys basically how to break down this whole chicken. So first off, this is Mary's Organic Air Chilled Chicken. Always sort of ideal to use. You don't have to use the best of the best, most expensive chickens, but some of the cheaper chickens that are mass factory farm, you're gonna definitely notice a difference in sort of the flavors, smells, texture, whatnot. So the Mary's one, this is organics, definitely different flavors, and it's air chilled, meaning basically it's not gonna be as wet. It hasn't soaked up. It's not liquid chill, so it's not as wet, so it's much more easy to work with and much more flavorful. And one of the reasons for yakitori, why we're gonna be breaking down a whole chicken, is whenever you break apart the whole chicken or whenever you cut it. So if you're at the store and buy pieces of thigh or pieces of breast, that may have been cut a day ago, maybe 3 days ago, a week ago. As soon as it's cut and it's exposed to the air, it starts oxidizing and it starts losing a lot of the flavors, and the quality of the texture also goes down. So the best yakitori shops are always gonna start with the whole chicken. And also, if you learn how to break down a whole chicken, you can apply this to all sorts of other cooking, whether it's pasta dishes or some other grilling dishes. Anything you want to cook chicken, you're going to be able to get the breast, the wings, the thighs, the legs, all from this one whole chicken, and it's much more economical and it tastes better if you break down the whole chicken. So I want to show you guys. So right here, I have this whole chicken. This is about 4.5 pounds. And the first thing I'm going to do, I do have some paper towels here. I want to wipe all of this down. This is just liquid coming out of the chicken. Just wiping it down mainly because it does add sort of impurities when you're cooking with it, but also at the same time, I don't want it to slip. If it's sort of slippery, then as I'm cutting it, it could be sort of dangerous. So just using paper towels.
Oh, the inside as well.
Yeah, the inside, the armpits, in between the legs, everywhere.
All
Basically,
over.
we're just taking sort of all the liquid that came out of the chicken. But yeah, definitely the inside. So this one happened to when I purchased it, it came with sort of the innards inside. So like the heart, liver, gizzard came in a bag inside, and a lot of the times the liver and whatnot, those start releasing some liquids as well. So I'm just trying to clean all of that out.
Gotcha.
Once I use enough paper towel to wipe clean. Also, just want to wipe my hands as well. And today I'm going to be using, this is my garaski. Garaski is basically a Japanese chicken cutting knife. Gara means carcass, and ski is basically the tendons, the cartilages, it's the in-between parts. And so this is a knife that's designed for going in between the chicken crevices and carving it out. Another name is a honeski. It's a little bit shorter right here as well. So this is a honeski, this is a garaski. One of the key characteristics of these Japanese chicken cutting knives is that it's going to be flat on one side. So it's single beveled, so it's only angled on one side. Whereas, let's say Western kitchen knives, they're going to be angled on both sides. The idea is by having it on one side, it's going to be sharper. So this is single beveled. And then there's also these tips on the top right here. That's going to allow me to go basically in between the bones and the muscle and just cut it apart. And one thing that we're doing with these chicken breakdown, I think some people might imagine I'm going to be breaking through the bones. We're actually not breaking through any of the bones. I'm going to be using the knife to separate all the muscles from each other. And the only thing that's holding the muscles together right here is essentially just the skin of the chicken. And we're going to see some cartilages and tendons holding it together. And everything, all the bones should come out of the socket. So we're going to be really finessing around this chicken right here. So another thing that I wanted to mention is we're going to see a little bit later, but anywhere where the muscle ends and another muscle starts, we're always going to see white lines of fat. And those are the kind of areas that we're going to be cutting through, which is going to allow us to basically separate the muscle from the muscle. So we're going to see a lot of those white lines as we cut through this. So first thing I'm going to do after I've dried it, right here, there is basically, right here we have the chicken tail. It's essentially the kind of like, it's like the oil sac of the chicken. This is where the feathers and whatnot for the coating comes from this. They call it aburatsubo, so basically like an oil pot of the chicken. So we got right here. You guys see? All right, I'm also gonna switch cameras.
Someone asked why you also dried the inside of the chicken.
Just drying it all out. Those are just, if you think about it, it is just liquid that could have been sitting there for a day or two. So it's just not going to be as fresh. So anything that's a little bit old, I want to remove that. All right, so we took off the tail. Next thing I want to do is going to be separating right here, basically the skin right here. It's basically the membrane that's holding the legs to the body. So if I start separating the skin right here, you can see that now the leg is separated from the body. So let's do that on this side as well.
It's a sharp knife.
Yeah, and one of the key components, you don't need a chicken cutting knife like this to start, but definitely I recommend getting your knives professionally sharpened or using a whetstone to just sharpen that knife. It makes it a whole lot easier. So once I cut the skin, what I want to do is basically pop bones from the socket. So right here, if I put my thumb out, basically that is the socket, that's the thigh bone right here that just came out of the socket. Let's do the same thing to the other side. So you see that? You see that, Lisa?
Yes, I did.
Yep. It's basically
popping that through.
We're not breaking any bones. We're just popping it out of the socket. And I'm going to be from the back side cutting holding the drumstick area. Basically, this is a leg, thigh. It's going to be trimming across. Right here, if you ever hear about the chicken oysters, these are the chicken oysters. You kind of see it round. So right here, the oysters. Essentially, I call it the chicken sort of love handles right here. It's the most tender part of the chicken because if you imagine this leg is moving, the thigh, the leg, drumstick, they have to do a lot of work because it's moving around. But there's a muscle here that's just sitting there. It's not doing much. So it's part of the thigh meat, but it ends up being very tender because it's really not doing much. So, and you can carve it. There's a sake right here, right where the oysters are. And I just use the tip of the knife to carve it.
Mhm.
And it should theoretically is to be able to come off right here. So this round, kind of like a grape size, this is a chicken oyster. So let's do that to the other side.
You make it look so effortless, but I know if I ever started getting into this, it would take me a
We
very
could do
long
many
time.
lives until you get good at it.
Okay,
so
sounds good.
basically did the same thing. There's a socket right here, the bone socket. And
Nice.
we got the two thighs, drumstick right here. Next thing I'm gonna do here, this is skin, and you might. A lot of people like the chicken skin, right? If you have like fried chicken, that crispy chicken skin is really good. So all the chicken skin is good, but what you may not know is there's different chicken skins that have sort of different flavors and textures. For example, I just sliced through the butt. I call this butt skin. It's really fatty, so it ends up being very flavorful and it cooks up very chewy as well. So just trimmed off the butt skin right here. Parts of the chicken that you might not know that they're meat. This is called belly meat, harami belly meat right here, and we're gonna be using this knife to just trim it from essentially the rib cage area. So what you see right here, this is belly meat right here. There's one.
Nice.
Gonna go through the other side as well. Chicken.
Quick shout out to Janelle Eats in the chat. She says she wants the crispy chicken skin.
Yeah, the skin. What's cool about yakitori is all of these parts. If you have a specific favorite part of the chicken, so if you like chicken skin, you can have a whole skewer just the skin, right? If you get like a Costco rotisserie chicken and you like the skin, you have to eat all the other parts. But if you go to yakitori shop and all you love is just the skin, you can just order a skewer just of skin. So that's what I like about yakitori. Definitely.
Nice.
I like all the parts, but yeah, definitely some of the parts are going to be much more. People like certain parts. And if you see me, I'm kind of wiping my hands. Right now, it's sort of hot in this room, so what's happening is that the chicken is sweating. All the fats on the chicken is sort of melting, kind of like butter, and that's what's getting it sort of sticky. But it's not like anything like slimy. That's when you get like old chicken, that slimy stuff, that's a sign of sort of like the chicken getting bad. But this is just basically the skin is like butter melting in my hands, so all the fats. So ideally, I want to do this as quickly as possible. So next step, we got the chicken breast skin. So I'm gonna just basically pull it off. So I call this sort of undressing the chicken, just taking the sweater off the chicken. So right here, this is a whole basically blanket of chicken breast skin, which I'm just gonna fold it like a blanket.
Ooh, you fold it. Nice.
Yeah. All right. So as I said, we're not breaking through any bones. We're really just searching where sort of the joints are, the sockets are, and then so here I know this is where the shoulder, the wing shoulder is, and this is where the socket is. So I'm putting my knife in and coming across. And you guys recall I talked about anywhere where muscle ends, there's always going to be a white line. So this is the fat line right here. So this is the rib cage. It's carving along the white line, coming across, and I'm not cutting through any bones, but I can hear basic tendons and cartilages sort of snapping off, coming across the front. I'm going to be using this wing as a handle.
How many chickens do you think you've broken down in your lifetime?
Thousands. Maybe.
Thousands?
Yeah, I mean,
wow.
When I kind of paused because of like COVID, but when I was doing regular sort of private cooking kind of stuff, I mean, it was every week going through about 10 to 20 chickens, and that was going on for like 2 to 3 years. So definitely at this point I would say 1,000. So we're gonna do the same thing to the other side, and every week I learn something new. I'm cutting something. I'm like, oh, I didn't notice that. These chickens have like testicles right here. I didn't notice that the chickens I was buying were both male and female. like just like things like that. Like I just noticed, and I just go and ask my like teachers in Japan, like, hey, I found this. What is this? And they'll tell me. All right, so what I did actually kind of skipped on ahead. So this is the other breast and the wing. Underneath the breast, these two, this is a tenderloins. So when you hear about chicken tenders, you often think about just fried chicken strips, but it's actually the chicken tenders is a whole tenderloin. That's the opposite muscle to the breast muscle. So kind of like your your chest muscles have like two opposing muscles. Same thing on chickens. They use basically one to sort of pull the wing and one to push the wing. So right here, I just cut it, putting my hands through, and it's a little slippery. So I use to grab, just grabbing it right here.
Nice. That was so satisfying to watch. I don't know why.
Yep. Well, you're gonna see in one day. So I'm actually, it comes with a handle right here. These are the chicken tenders, and these are the tendons. So I grab it using a paper towel, and you just pull it right out. So you got basically the two chicken tendies.
Someone in chat asked you how you got into cooking.
How did I get into cooking? In general, I think I always like to make things. Whether it's like Legos or for anyone you guys into like Japanese anime, I really like Gundam, and I make Gundam models growing up. So I really like building things. So I think I've always been cooking. But professionally, in terms of yakitori, yakitori is served at Japanese restaurants called izakaya. Izaka is a word for sake, and ya means house. So sake houses. These are Japanese sort of food pubs, just places where after work you'll go, small intimate bars where you go and eat and drink, and it's usually small food. So you're drinking, and then basically you eat these small foods to kind of help the drinks go. But you don't want to get too full with the food. That's why you're not going to get big dishes. You get small bites so you can still drink some more. And yakitori happens to be izakaya food that I fell in love because I think everyone loves chicken. But then once I found that you can get so many different parts from one animal, and if you kind of cut it and skewer it in different ways, you have different textures and flavors. That's something that I really enjoy. That you can do from one animal, and you can make a whole meal out of one single animal. So that's why I got really into yakitori.
Nice.
Yeah, but actually, I've only been doing yakitori for 3 years. Prior to that, I was working at a desk job. I was doing tech stuff at startups and whatnot. And this has always like kind of been like a dream of mine that I wanted to get into food.
Now you've got a YouTube channel and Instagram. By the way, shout out to his YouTube channel. Make sure you guys subscribe to it. He posts amazing videos.
I just reached 10K, and I'm pretty excited about it. I know it's nothing compared to your millions that you have, but I'm so grateful that people who want to learn about. I mean, at the end of it, it's simply chicken, right? But
simply chicken, yeah.
I'm excited about people learning how to make things out of a simple chicken. So right here is actually, this is a cartilage, very soft, crunchy, basic like a crunchy bone. So I just took that. That's the chest cartilage. Okay, we have a few more things that we can still grab. Like there's still more meat on this. Right here, this is back skin that I just pulled off.
Back skin, nice.
And then right here, this is meat that you don't really hear about here, but you can get this. This is basically the shoulder. And what I'm doing is I'm carving, there's a shoulder blade right here. So it's carving across the shoulder blade. This is a whole, basically, shoulder muscle right here. And then this was the shoulder blade that I just carved across. It's kind of in between a white and dark meat as well. So I got that. Okay, you heard about satisfactory sounds earlier with the tendons?
Yeah.
This is when we break apart, it makes that crunch. So right here, so I save all these bones. This becomes soup later, like we use it to make soup. And so lastly, so you guys can see, I have here, this is sort of the back and neck. Now this chicken that I bought at Whole Foods, basically the neck was kind of cut off, but if you were to get a real chicken, the neck will be this long. So you'll get a lot of neck, but there's still lots of muscle in here. A little bit chewy, but it's still very fatty. That's what I'm doing. Is I'm carving side, side. It's actually pretty tricky right now. It's been.
What is your favorite part of the chicken?
My favorite part. I don't have a singular favorite part, but I definitely like this neck is one of my favorites. The shoulder as well, and the thigh that we're about to cut soon. That's good too. I'm just trimming off some final ends right here, but we're really down to right here. These are the bones, and we got the breast, get the wings, breast. Tail, chest cartilage, thigh, butt area trimmings, neck, the shoulders, and the wings, 2 chicken tenders, and then the breast skin. And we have back skin, butt skin, and then belly meat.
It's so funny how you say butt skin. I don't know why.
The butt skin?
Cracks me up.
Yeah. I always just say butt. And then we have here the chicken thighs. So let me go ahead and switch things up.
Pig weenies, to answer your question, yes, this will be posted on the channel later, so you can watch it later on. Wow, that was really quick. I thought you said it would take you 30 minutes to break it down, but that was really, really fast.
Yeah, so if I'm not talking, each of these take me about maybe 3 to 3.5 minutes. If I'm going through 1 year or something.
I see why you've done thousands now. Someone said, I love how he makes the most out of the chicken respectfully.
Yeah, I think that's kind of part of sort of Japanese or I feel like a lot of Asian cuisines too, right? Using every part, including the bone. So with yakitori, nothing goes to waste. So the bones go for the soup, every part of the meat, every part of the skin, everything is used. And even things as we're cutting today, when we're going to be making a skewer, sometimes we will trim. Those trimmings could then be ground up and made into chicken meatballs. So everything is used in yakitori. And including, we didn't have much today, but sometimes there'll be a big flab of chicken fat. And that chicken fat could be used as the topping oil for ramen, chicken ramen. Usually there's a layer of oil on top. You can use that chicken fat for that. Or I actually deep fry with that chicken fat. So if I save enough of that chicken fat, I can render it out into oil and I make one of my favorite side dishes. And I'm going to do a video on it very soon. Is enoki karaage. So I'm taking enoki mushrooms, batter with mochi flour, rice flour, and then it's deep fry or pan fried in chicken fat. So that's basically you get a whole meal using the chickens.
That sounds amazing.
All right, so just putting all of these parts away so that we just
to the chicken thigh now, right?
We gotta get so just to get the chicken thigh you have, basically I have right here drumstick and a thigh. It's gonna be cutting.
Give me 1 sec to switch the scene. Okay, cool.
I'm just taking off the drum sticks right here.
I did buy the knife that you told me to buy, by the way. So I feel very professional right now.
So that's a kitchen knife that you have, right?
Yeah, this is probably the sharpest knife I've ever dealt with.
Yeah, I definitely recommend.
I'm trying to be very careful.
Brand. It's worth every penny. It's not going to be sold at the big lot places, right? Like the Bed Bath & Beyond and place like that, and they don't do any sort of marketing. So that's where you save the cost. But you in kitchenware shops in Japan, you find and yeah, I have right here. This is the same knife.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I mean it was on your store, so I was I should probably get it.
This is the knife that I've been using basically forever.
Nice.
So let's see. So these chicken parts that we're not going to be using today, I'm going to just put into the fridge. And with chicken, it's actually very important to keep things cold as much as possible.
Chat, if you guys have any questions for Yakitori guy, please let us know. Also, please subscribe to his YouTube channel, Yakitoriguy. He's also on Instagram. Are you on it? You're also on TikTok, aren't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm just having to kind of put these in a way that it won't fall out.
We just watched him expertly break down a chicken, which I will have to rewatch probably 10 times before I attempt breaking down my first chicken.
All right. Cool.
Okay.
So we're
Teach me
here.
your ways.
So I'm trying to just make sure that your thighs are the same, essentially as my thigh. It has bone in. I think it has kind of more extra skin to work with. So that's good. Okay. So the first thing we want to do, actually, like I'm okay to pause for any questions. And I'm gonna do I think
Okay.
before we start, so you said you had some sake. I'm gonna do a little kanpai cheers with you.
What are your favorite spices to use?
Oh, spices. Let's see. Here.
I'm just holding this chicken in my hand. We'll just drop that for a sec.
Yeah, it's good because we're gonna be using this anyway. So I got here. These are tube ones that makes it easier. But we got some wasabi. This is Japanese mustard called karashi. This is shiso ume. Ume is Japanese plum, and shiso is like a Japanese sort of a minty basil leaf. But this is shiso, and then this is yuzu kosho. I would say these four are one of the main condiments that you want for yakitori. And this one's pretty so you might like this one just because this is like it's yuzu is a Japanese citrus. And kosho means like peppers. So this is a spicy. It's a Japanese citrus chili paste. But it's like Japanese spicy standards, so it's gonna be mild by your standards. But this is definitely the Japanese spicy.
Nice.
So we'll be utilizing this a little bit later. But yeah, Lisa, I wanted to do like a midway cheers with you. If you got your
yeah. Let me open the sake.
Yeah.
Real quick. So I actually don't think I've had the sake before.
Yeah, so that's a very that's a kind of a standard probably what they use like at restaurants that do like sake bombs or hot sake. So definitely more in the it's generally it's a much more affordable option, but that's why I also recommend it for use it for cooking. And then they do sell like cooking sake, but kind of like cooking wine. I recommend whatever you're gonna cook with, it should be at least like drinkable, so you can drink it as you cook. So all right, you have that. Let me see.
I do. I actually have the other sake that I bought as well. I can go grab that.
Oh, you have good sake.
Yeah, didn't I send it? I'll be right back. I'll grab it.
Okay.
I've like got chicken juices on one hand, so I'm just operating with the other one. Okay, so I've got like TYKU.
I'm having chicken issues.
Just asking, do you cook other types of food in your channel related to chicken? Question for Yakitoriguy.
Did you say other meats besides chicken?
Yes.
Yeah, I am actually recording a video today on beef skewers, like short ribs. So it's definitely possible to do. So yakitori is grilled chicken, because tori means chicken. So usually when you go to yakitori restaurants, it's going to be chicken focused. But kushiyaki, kushi means skewers and yaki means grilled. Kushiyaki, if you go to a kushiyaki restaurant, they're going to serve you a whole lot more variety, whether it's like beef, pork, it could be shrimp skewers, scallop skewers. There's other cool, like interesting kushiyaki. And I actually, all on my channel, I do all these kushiyaki options. One of my favorites actually is called yasai maki. Yasai means vegetables. Maki means wrap or roll. And this genre called yasai maki, they're essentially all veggies or it could be other meats wrapped in thin pork belly. So it could be anything from like lettuce wrapped in pork belly, onions wrapped in pork belly, enoki mushrooms wrapped in pork belly, and it's all these vegetables that are just being cooked in like pork belly, not bacon, but some, it's not cured, so it's not bacon, but basically pork belly fat.
Nice.
And what's nice is everything's on skewers, so you can just grab, eat, and drink with other.
Drink.
Makes it very.
It's like a drinking food for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Did you get yours yet?
Go ahead and open up a socket here.
Okay. I'm gonna try this one first, and then I just opened up this other one. I don't know if you've seen this one before.
Yeah, that's taiku. Yeah.
Taiku. Okay. So I'll take this one after.
Cool.
Which one are you drinking right now?
So this one is called Jozen Mizunoguchi. They have a few of these. At least here in California, I can find these bottles for like $20 to $30. But when kept cold, it's very, very vibrant and fruity. And I think I definitely want, like, one day if we can go to Japan, want to like have you try. Sake in Japan tastes so much different than sake here because they actually don't export a lot of the good stuff out here. And this is one of the closest ones to, because they actually ship it cold. And sake actually changes a lot of flavors if it's not kept cold. So this, the whole time it's been kept cold. So generally it's going to be sort of...
First of all, I would freaking love to go to Japan. Like that. I'd want to go there for sure.
Have you been?
I have not.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, once it opens up, I can't wait to go back. I was going basically every 6 months to go, research and train for Yakitori at the shops that I was working at, and I haven't been back for almost a year and a half now. So I'm so eager to basically go back. And
You'll have to be my tour guide for sure.
Yeah. Like it'll be so fun. Yeah, so basically, let's have some sake. One misunderstanding about sake is people think like you shoot it. I mean, we can definitely shoot this, but it's definitely a sipping thing. It's kind of like wine.
Oh, sipping.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here, let me go.
Good thing you told me before I took the shot, the whole thing.
It's okay. All right, hold on. I take a photo like this with everyone that I make here.
Cheers.
So 1, 2, 3, cheers. All right.
That's good stuff.
All right. Since you already have the sake open, maybe the other one we should fill up your bottle now.
Oh yeah, sure.
We'll talk about it more later, but we're gonna fill up your spray bottle.
I should have washed my hand like 10 minutes ago, but okay. So I'm filling up this spray bottle here with sake because
we're gonna have to fill it up all the way, just enough so that it can spray some sake. So maybe about an inch into that bottle.
So we're gonna be using this to spray the chicken.
Yes.
Okay. Do you think that's enough?
Yes, plenty.
Okay.
Okay. We got our drinks in.
It's so weird having a spray bottle of sake. You could just spray this in someone's mouth.
Someone's asking, is that chicken breast? No, this is chicken thighs.
All right, let's go. What's next?
Cool. All right, so Yakitori is all about preparing the meat so that it's enjoyable for the person.
Okay.
You have a whole chicken, you have to do all of this work, right? You probably need a fork and a knife and cut. Yakitori, we're gonna do all that work for our guests, for our customers. So first off, what we need to do is, obviously we can't, we don't wanna bite around a bone, so we're gonna remove the bone. And so this is where, if you see, I'm going to change the screen again so you can see easier. Okay. So on the chicken thigh, you look carefully. You're going to see these white lines. White lines. These are basically fat lines that are separating. You think chicken thigh is just like one muscle, but it's actually a group of muscles. Like this is one muscle. This is another muscle. We've got all these different muscles. Do you kind of see what I'm talking about with the chicken thighs you're looking at? Or how about this? So take the bone. you know where the bone, the top of the bone is, and it goes all the way to the bottom. Do you see a white line on top of that? Yeah, right there. So we're actually going to cut along that white line, because that's going to then separate the one muscle that's on one side of the white line and the other muscle that's on the other side of the white line. So basically, let me see if I can move my camera, zoom it in more. Okay, so right here, I'm going to take my knife, and actually, I'm going to start from the top of the bone and just carve it across the bone. Like you're really just carving it across the bone, sort of slicing it across the bone. Like let that knife rest on the bone and slice. And then that's going to separate the meat from the bone. Just let the knife do the work. And same thing on the other side of the bone. We're just essentially carving it along, separating the muscle from. Okay, so Lisa, if you can take a look what I have here. Yeah, so we have exposed the bone, and the next step we're gonna do is we're just gonna take this knife and use the tip and sort of stab it underneath the bone. So be careful for your finger on this side, and then just kind of carve it off, and then just trim off the bone.
Sorry, I was muted.
Oh,
okay.
So just stick the knife through and just kind of carve. The whole idea is you're just trying to trim away the meat from the bone.
Sure.
And ideally, you want to leave as little meat on the bone as possible, because you want to be able to eat that.
I definitely have some meat left on the bone.
But that's good. No, but that's good.
Okay. So we can save this.
Let's go ahead and do the other one.
Okay, so we can save these bones for like stock or something, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So same thing. Basically, I'm just using my knife. I feel the bone, just kind of carving, gliding it across the bone. And once I glide it off the bone on basically sort of the right and left side, then I can just poke and get the bottom side.
My knife skills are questionable.
As I said, I've done thousands, so you get better each time. And I'm getting better each time. Like I'm learning something new, I'm getting faster, I'm getting cleaner. By the way, I would say these legs, thighs are probably the hardest for me. Like I'm still not.
That's what you picked for us to do.
Yeah.
Perfect.
You know what? It's worth it because it tastes so good. Like
yeah, that's true. I do love chicken thighs.
Chicken thighs taste so good.
How did I do so bad on this one? I feel like the first one was a lot better.
Okay. And okay, I also want to say, you know how you bought these chicken thighs in the store?
Uh-huh.
At the store, basically they don't do a good job cutting the whole thigh. So like it's like already hard. Like they might have like chopped off some of the bone off. Like things aren't as intact.
Gotcha.
It gets trickier to even work with to make yakitori. All right, so I don't know if you have the same parts I have, but I just wanted to show you that there's different sort of parts in here that I can identify that have different flavors and textures. So first off, there's this sort of flab of meat right here in the inside that I'm gonna trim off. I don't know if you have it, but this, I call it the inner thigh. It's not that I call it, but that's what it is.
Do you see it on mine by any chance? Is it this right here?
Let's see. I'm trying to figure out where your oyster is. Okay.
I might have just did such a hack job that you can't see it.
It actually might be. No, it should be on the other side actually. Oh wait. Can you see where your oyster? Okay, on the other thigh, I think I can see where the oyster is. So show me the other thigh. The other piece. So that top part, that round, should be the oyster actually.
This is the oyster? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So the inner thigh is technically on, it should be on the op. So, okay, like if you're looking at mine, right here. So we got the oyster here. This is the inner thigh, but I think yours might, not even you, I think maybe from the factory, it got trimmed off. So
Should I go ahead and cut out the oyster?
yes, we're gonna definitely cut out the oyster. That's a good part. So here, so if you figured out where the oyster is, I figured out where my oyster is. So if I know where it is, I'm just gonna cut it kind of like into a rectangle. That's probably the easiest way to describe it. I'm gonna cut through the skin, and then the same on the other side. Just cut through the skin, so I can get this oyster. I can get this.
Does this look like the oyster on this one? Right here, this piece?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, you definitely can feel it. It's gonna be this like kind of like a grape like part.
A rectangle?
Yeah, that's just the easiest way of cutting it into a rectangle. Just this above and to the side of it to get that.
It's my second oyster, chicken oyster. Okay. Alrighty.
All right, so you got those oysters. Let's just keep those on the side for now. So we have, have you noticed basically the muscles go sort of in one direction?
Yes.
Yes. So what we want to do is I'm going to cut these into, let's see, do you have one that's basically bigger than the other in terms of the side when you open it up?
I think this side's, well, I don't know actually.
Yeah, actually, no, okay, so that side that you just pointed at, that's going to be the smaller side.
Okay.
Okay, so let's cut right there off.
How much of it?
We're going to end up with one that's sort of this log, another that's a square.
Okay. How's that look?
I'm making this really hard for you. I'm showing you.
No, this is all good. This is all good.
Yeah, this is like the advanced thing stuff. Yep.
And there's this little chunk of, I think this is cartilage. Should I cut that off?
You can. I actually leave it, and I'm gonna make. I like to make this what I call like a knee cartilage skewer. So we can work on that one. So we can.
Okay, I can do that.
And so as I said, this is actually the reason why this is very advanced is most negimas that you have at sort of random shops, they're actually just take the chicken thigh, no direction or nothing, and we're just cutting them into like cubes, just skewering them. But this is more, if you can think of like a sushi restaurant style, where they're breaking it down into specific bites. So yes, you have one that is basically one strip, and you have the knee cartilage. So we have that one, and then we have this one, which is the bigger sort of square.
So should I be trimming, like, do you see this fat on the side? Should I be trimming that off?
Don't worry about it. That'll be good flavor.
Okay, perfect. I like that. Cool.
So we're going to be cutting this square that you have in half. But we want to cut it basically against the grain.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
We're going to be cutting it right here.
Right down the middle?
Right down this, yeah.
Okay.
Kind of breaking the muscle essentially. So I actually want to do it, I flip it over though, so I can cut through the skin first.
Okay.
So those two parts we'll put aside. Let's do the same to the other thigh.
Okay.
Where that smaller side with the knee if you have a knee cartilage.
I did such a bad job. Look at how broken up it is because I did
it's
so
okay.
bad.
It's okay. We're gonna fix it.
Okay.
And so once again, you should be left with like a narrow strip and then more of the square strip.
I mean, kinda.
Yeah, me too. Mine's kind of as well.
Okay.
And then we're going to be cutting that in half again. And the whole reason why we cut it that way, sort of against the grain, is so that we can then roll it up. It rolls up nicely, and we're gonna be able to skewer it through. So check out my screen. What I just did, you know, the square pieces. I kind of aligned them here, and then the rectangular ones, they're over here. Got the oysters on top. Let me zoom out.
My rectangles are kind of we'll just put you there. Sorry.
I gave you the hardest challenge.
Okay, the oysters on top.
You can always do easy version next time.
No, it's fine. I'm learning. There's one oyster. What happened to my other oyster? Guys, I lost an oyster. Oh, there it is. Found it.
Okay. So right here, I have my 2 oysters.
Okay.
And then this is like the knee cartilage strip part. And then the sort of the squares that we cut. Yours might be longer squares, but yeah.
Okay, yeah, I think that's it. 2 oysters. I also got a piece of skin too, extra skin.
Oh yeah, you can use that later. We can make like a mini skin skewer. All right,
okay,
let's go ahead and cut the green onions.
Oh, sorry, what?
Let's go ahead and start cutting the green onions.
Okay.
Now the point for green onions is we want to use the thickest green onions you can find. So this in the same pack. There's this thinner one, and then there's this thicker one. So side by side, I think you've noticed the difference. I want to use the thickest ones as possible.
Okay.
Whatever thick one was. And the only reason for that is when you start grilling, they shrivel up. So when you start with the thicker ones, you have more bite left.
Gotcha. Okay, I think these are my thickest ones.
Got it. So let's go ahead and like cut off we don't need these stems. And then we're gonna cut these onions into about 1 inch.
1 inch, okay.
Roughly is fine.
Is that an inch? I have no idea. That's probably an inch. I forgot if I'm whispering, people can still hear me. Okay, just 1 inch?
Yep.
Okay. All the way through. This is seriously the sharpest knife I've ever touched in my entire life.
And you know that's not at the sharpest possible. That factory only ships it like at 90% sharpness.
Jeez.
Because it might chip while chipping if you do it at like 100%. Let me just switch it up and go back to regular mode.
Okay, I've got the green onions cut. I've got the chicken thighs cut. What's next?
All right, let's go ahead and grab your skewer.
Okay.
So what you have is a paddle skewer, but in Japan they call this the teppobushi, the rifle skewer, because it looks basically like a rifle. And what I like about these skewers is it's square, and so actually in my yakitori I use 4 different skewers. I have this paddle skewer, I have round skewers, I have a flat skewer, I have thinner round skewers, and all of them, they serve different purpose. For example, if I'm piercing through something like mushrooms or something, I don't want to use a big one. It's going to frail. It's going to basically crack it open. So if I use a thinner one, it stays intact. But with something like the chicken thigh with the skin, I want a big, strong one so I can poke through that. So
gotcha.
Go ahead and take the... I'm going to switch my screen again. We're going to take 1 green onion. Okay. And then we never skewer in the air, by the way. We always skewer on the cutting board. And the reason for that is it just gives us more stability. So I'm holding onto the onion on the cutting board, taking my skewer, and just right in the center, like shooting pool. Just put it in the center.
Okay.
One single. All right, now we did that. Let's grab a square one.
How far down should we go with it?
You're probably gonna go pretty far down. I think yours is 7 inch, so you leave maybe an inch, half an inch. But mine went all the way down because I'm on the 6 inch one.
Okay.
So then we're gonna take the second one. We're gonna poke. I want to say like at a 45-degree angle into the cutting board, skewering into the skin, do the meat, and then we're gonna kind of roll it and pierce through the meat and then the skin. It's gonna look something like this.
Okay, so
Pierce through
do I pierce the closest side or the furthest side? Closest?
the closest side, yeah. Pierce the
Okay.
skin of the meat,
Okay.
and then you're gonna kind of like pinch the meat so that you can roll it, and then you skewer it out of the other side.
Have you ever stabbed yourself?
Oh yeah, it happens. And then
Can
I
you
was
guys see
like,
this
I was
side?
thinking, hey, it's like wood. How can you like poke yourself? But then you realize that it's sharp enough to poke through chicken muscle, so it's definitely sharp enough to poke through your own muscles as well.
How is this? What do you think?
I think that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay. Then let's take another onion, and ideally you want to take a bigger onion. Aesthetically, it's just going to look nicer if you can take a bigger, like a wider onion.
Okay.
And then right through the center again, going down into the cutting board. Basically, it gives you a lot more leverage when you skewer down into the cutting board.
You got really thick green onions. I wish I found those. Okay.
Yeah, so the ones in Japan, they have them at Japanese grocery stores here. They call them like Tokyo negi. They're some of them like really big. Like it's actually you have to cut them in half. Korean ones are similar. I think it might be the same sort of like the species. Whatever. Okay, so then same thing. We're gonna skewer it through.
Does it matter which piece? Are we just picking another thigh? Like
Yeah, but aesthetically, I like to go with one that's at least even in size or bigger.
Okay.
So we're then left with something. This is what you're going for.
It's so pretty. Okay, let's see if I can get it near that. Excuse me, green onions. Thank you.
Yep.
Stabbing in and then
Yeah, it's
rolling.
kind of like weaving. You're kind of going down and in, and then you're pushing on up through the muscle and then out the skin.
What do you think?
All right. So then what we're gonna do is, how your meat is kind of like pinched tight. Let's sort of stretch everything out a bit because we don't want it too tight. We want to loosen things up almost because if it's too tight, basically the meat when it grills, it sort of expands, and we're going to leave it some room for it to expand, or else you're going to squeeze out a lot of the good juices.
Okay.
Okay. So let's go ahead and do one more. You have more onions?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, did you cut you didn't cut all your onions? Why did I cut all my onions? Like I cut it all the way through.
No. We just need the thicker whites. Just
I'll have to figure out what to do.
My one feedback to the one skewer that you just made, the top onion is a little short. So for our next skewer, because you want to be able to eat a lot of onion. The onion's good to grill.
Okay.
So we're gonna give it some more onions. So just if you can see mine. So we're gonna give it. So on your next skewer that you're about to make, or we're gonna both make together, try to pick like a wider onion if you have one. If not, cut another one.
Oh yeah, duh. Okay.
Yeah. And then when you have leftover onions, you can just make onion skewers too. Those are really good.
Okay, I got a wider onion.
Got it. All right, so then let's skewer through the wider onion, and then grab the chicken, skewer through the skin, the meat, through the meat and out the skin. And by the way, as I said, this is one of the challenging ones because we're leaving the skin on, and this is more like the high-end version of this Negima.
Yeah,
this is even like on YouTube. If you look up Negima recipes,
I'm scared to stab myself, honestly.
Oh, okay. So let me give you the tip advice. So this is how I hold it. And my spear it's like shooting full. Like I'm not gonna stab my finger because I'm always aiming for the center. So I'm holding it, and it skewers. You see the skewer coming out right in between?
Yeah, but
Almost,
it's like I got to get through the skin.
yeah. So what happens is, you know how we left our chicken out for a bit? It's getting softer. The skin's getting softer. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So you kind of have to like relax and then skewer full commitment at once, or the skin gets flabbier and flabbier. And sake can be liquid courage. So yeah, for those in the audience, I'm definitely seeing. I'm able to see some of the comments. Do you guys
Yeah,
have
if you see any questions,
you guys have any favorite chicken dishes? Just curious. There's so much you can make with the chickens that we broke down with. And I think that's just what I like about yakitori is the fact that it's using a protein chicken that every cuisine pretty much works with chicken. So it's a very familiar, meat, right? Compared to, let's say, like if I was a uni guy or something, like a lot of people may not, have like uni until they get to go to like a sushi restaurant and decide to order uni or something. Chicken is chicken. It's very universal.
Chicken is chicken.
Yeah.
Wise words. Okay, were we adding more green onion to this? Like, is this one better than the other one?
Yeah, you went ahead of me.
Oh, sorry.
No. That's good. I can catch up. All right, so we have our two skewers right here.
If there's an extra flab of chicken, do I stab it?
Yeah, so what I do is basically, let's do this step. We're gonna be trimming the sides. You know how you said it looks pretty? We're gonna be making it prettier by just trimming the sides so that it becomes much more even. So like you push it down, and anything that's kind of like flabby sticking out, you should be able to trim that off. And these trimmings, by the way, this is what we can then make into basically chicken meatballs if we were to put them into the meat grinder.
Chicken meatballs, nice.
Yeah. Yep. All right. So we got those two skewers. Let's go ahead and I want to show you, as I said, I'm showing you all these advanced ones that I like to do. Because it's just, I want to show you how
it's different.
Okay. All right, so you know that one with the knee cartilage? Let's take that one.
This one?
Probably. Yeah.
Did I use the wrong piece for the skewers? No, I think this is it.
Okay, so let's skewer. You know, like what we did with the Negima? Let's just skewer through the meat and the skin of the meat. And this one, we're gonna change it up. We're gonna put the green onion inside. So this is what I did. So we're kind of wrapping the meat around the green onion. So this is a variation on the negima. And negi means onion and ma means in between. So the skewers that we just made is basically chicken that's in between the onions. But this is a variation that I've started seeing a lot of more recently in Japanese yakitori shops, like the modern ones. They make these with the green onion inside. And then we're actually leaving the meat cartilage in there.
There you go.
Okay. All right. So let's do it the other one.
This is kind of calming in a way.
Oh yeah, it's definitely calming.
Unless you mess up, then you can start cussing and throwing a storm, right? Okay, where's the green onion?
You got it right here. So then, the last one, just for you, let's make a special one.
Okay.
2 oysters.
Two oysters back to back. Okay.
Maybe the most tender one.
And you're stabbing it through on each one. Okay.
Yeah. Something like this. I don't know if your oysters have skins on them. If not, that's fine.
One does and one doesn't.
Okay. It's still gonna be oyster.
Okay.
And then you still have some trimmings left?
Yes, I think.
Okay.
Did you put a green onion on the oyster ones?
Hmm?
Did you put a green onion on the oyster ones?
I didn't, but you can.
Okay.
I didn't do it so that you can at least tell which one's oyster and not, so you won't get it confused.
Okay, got the oysters on.
Okay. Whatever trimmings you have, just skewer it. You kind of like poke through, wrap around, whatever you need to do, just kind of make it into skewer. And that is our leftover trimming skewer.
Nice. Hello, chat. Mason, Leah, Saliver, how are you guys? Thanks for joining the stream. I've got Yakitoriguy here. He broke down a chicken in the first part of the show. Would you call this a show? I don't know. But then we got to the thighs, and he's been helping me break that down into these skewers with some green onions, and we're about to cook them. Do you put the extra fat on it as well that you had, or?
Yeah, I mean,
so the skin?
we're gonna be using the electric grill today, which is it's gonna be, you can leave the fat on there if you like fat, but when I'm doing the charcoal grill, the Japanese binchotan, I remove a lot of those fats because it drips and smokes up real crazy. Let's go ahead and get the grill here.
Hello, Annie and Abby. How's it going? Laura, what's up? I'm doing great. How are you guys doing? Yakitori, how are you doing?
I'm doing great.
You're doing great. Awesome.
This is my first live in a while. Like I used to do a lot of lives last summer, and
well, I'm honored that you would take the time to do it with me. And
I'm honored to be in your presence.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay. So, do we need to cut anything else?
I don't think so, but if you have any leftover onions, you can always just kind of like skewer those up and make some onion skewers. But I would say only the whites though. That's like the green parts, you're not going to be able to skewer through, and it won't have any bite. So
okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to figure out what to cook with these tomorrow with the extra green onion.
Yeah, so like these, right? I actually throw these in with the bones, part of the soup. And you have the bone, onion, and just a little bit of salt, and it makes really good stock.
Nice. Okay, I think I'm good.
Yeah, that's called ikadayaki. It's just onion skewers. Yeah.
Kind of pretty. Okay.
All right, let's go ahead and turn on our grill. Actually, yeah. So have you used your grill yet?
I have not.
Okay. So let me show you what we're going to be doing. And for anyone in the audience, basically today we're using, this is a indoor electric barbecue grill. This brand Livar. It's been very popular this past year. So that it's been out of stock most of the time. We still got lucky. Got one of the last.
I got really lucky. Thanks for sending me that link.
But traditionally, the best of the best yakitori is going to be made using a charcoal grill. Let me see, I can show you guys. So like this is my charcoal grill, metal charcoal grill that I use for yakitori. And it's traditionally with Japanese bamboo, called binchotan. And so yeah, Lisa, check this out. This is binchotan. you've never seen it. So this is Japanese. Basically, this used to be a branch or log, probably maybe triple this thickness. And it got baked and carbonized over like a span of a week. And it's 95% carbon. So it makes basically like a metallic sound. Like it started as wood, but now basically it's like metal.
That is nuts. What do you use it for?
This is to grill the best yakitori. Use mitoba.
Is it expensive?
It's smoke-free, odor-free. It's just almost like this radiant infrared heat. So hot. So when you cook the chicken, as a chicken fat drip on this, it creates chicken fat smoke, and that's the good flavors. It's not like regular charcoal kind of imparts like a wood, like a campfire type of smoke. This doesn't do that. So you really hate the chicken. But yeah, you can't do this indoors. That's why I always recommend if you're starting out, just get this indoor grill, and you can make really good yakitori with this indoor grill. It doesn't go as hot, so it's much more forgiving. Like you're not gonna burn skewers and stuff like that. So we're gonna fill up the inside with water. Did you already do that?
No, shoot. It's already smoking. My bad. Okay.
If it's not, be careful. You can also add it with like a cup or something.
It's good.
Yeah,
okay, how much water do we fill it with?
Just like a quarter of an inch, just to fill the bottom layer. And the whole purpose of this, by the way, is just to collect the chicken drippings, and it cools it down so that you're not going to get a pool of hot chicken fat that might catch on fire. If you were to do a lot of bacon skewers on this and the whole thing becomes bacon grease, it may light up, so be careful.
Okay.
The water just helps it cool it.
Have you ever forgotten to add the water?
It's more about, it's not that I forgot, the water evaporates. Like if I'm using this for like 3 hours or something, and then the water evaporates and all I'm left is, it's like the chicken fats. The chicken fats is not too bad. It's the bacon fat that, like, if you leave it in long enough, and then let's say you spill some water into it, you get that grease fire.
Gotcha. Okay, so now we can turn it on?
Yep, turn it on.
Is this in focus?
About maybe 2 minutes, maybe maybe about a minute till it gets like the full strain. It's gonna start glowing orange. But in the meantime, I wanted you to take make a little bit of the tare.
Okay.
So get that soy sauce and sugar and sake handy. And tare, for those of you guys who don't know, tare is like the Japanese word for sauce. And so I'm gonna have Lisa make yakitori sauce. Except we don't have time to do like the full thing that we're gonna do in a stove, so we're just gonna make a quick hack tare. But this tare I have here, this is basically do it in a pot of sake, sugar, and soy sauce. And my tare right here, let's see if I can show this. Let's switch cameras. Now, so this is my tare. I don't know if you can see.
You just make it in bulk each time?
So this is actually not my full mother pot. I have a bigger mother pot. This is like my travel one.
Nice.
Brought for today's live. But what it is my mother pot, and this is at any yakitori restaurants, they have a mother pot. It's like a clay pot, and it never empties out. And we're gonna be dipping, or not you, but I'll be dipping my skewers into here, and all the chicken flavors go into here. But you never let this empty out. Like, so if this goes about maybe like halfway down, I add new sauce to it. But it never empties out, and you just add more new sauces to it. So all the flavors from every yakitori you ever cooked in your life is always in the sauce. So every yakitori dinner that I've done for like the past 3 years, it's in here. So this is essentially, I guess this is now 3.5 years old.
Wow.
My master in Japan has like a 35-year-old tare. I've eaten at a place that had a 50-year-old tare, a 100-year-old tare. It gets passed down generations. Or if you have like a disciple and they open up another shop, you give them a little bit of tare. So another story worked out in Japan after my training, my work there. At the end, they're like, "Hey, do you want to take some tare back to America?" So they gave me a bottle. So that Japanese tare is also in here too.
Are you saying
Yeah.
tare?
Tare?
Tare.
Yeah, T-E-R-E.
Tare. Okay.
Yeah.
Just making sure I pronounce it
And
tare.
the idea is that if you never let it go down, and it's kind of like the baby, the pride of yakitori chefs, definitely.
Wow. Okay. Good to know.
But
Okay.
you're gonna make like basically sort of the hack easy version. So in your bowl, let's add a tablespoon of sugar. And I'm just right now kind of guesstimating a flavor profile like for this hack version.
Okay. Tablespoon.
Tablespoon of sugar. Let's do tablespoon of soy sauce. Actually, do two tablespoons of soy sauce.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got 1 and 2. Your grill's on, right?
Mine is on. Yep, it's
Okay.
on.
Just making sure.
Yep.
Okay. What's next?
And then 1 tablespoon of sake. I'm just gonna go open the door now.
Okay. 1 tablespoon of sake. This grill is getting like really warm.
Yep. You have your windows open, right?
No.
No, open up your windows. Whatever smoke alarm can, like if you cook bacon and you get smoke alarm thing happening, just kind of be on the
Okay.
lookout for that.
I'll just have to go fan it if it does turn on.
Okay. So you have basically one tablespoon of sugar, 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, and 1 tablespoon of sake.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna go ahead and microwave that. And what we're making there is sort of a fake tare, where you get the sweetness from the sugar, and there's also sugar in the soy sauce. You get the saltiness from the soy sauce, and the sake gives you a little bit of sweetness, but it's also umami. It's that extra sort of flavor. And the alcohol, once it sort of glazes onto a skewer, it's gonna have a nice.
How long should I microwave it for?
I would say just try like a minute. It'll probably sort of bubble up. It's really about melting down that sugar.
Okay. Philip Lemoyne said, "Get the fire extinguisher ready."
Philip did that. He did that spicy challenge, and I think he needed
he did
his
say
guts.
the 2 times spicy noodles. He did an okay job.
Yeah, those noodles you do. Oh my gosh, it's crazy. Like I mean, I enjoy flavors of spicy, but my stomach does not, and my bottom end does not. So that's why. All right. So as your sake as your tare is going, I'm filling up another glass.
Sure. I actually already just had another one. Sorry. I was going to tell you, but you were busy talking. I didn't want to interrupt you.
Cool. And then do you happen to have a salt shaker? If not, do you have some salt handy that you can maybe put in like a little bowl so you can do sprinkle action? If you do some pinching action, it's nice.
Yes.
Go that way.
Okay, got the salt.
Cool.
Sauce is done.
Cool. And get that brush for that sauce. All right. Ready to start grilling?
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm ready as you are. So.
Oh, wait, I got to open a window.
Yep.
So our windows don't like stay open.
Got it.
So I have to put this underneath it. Oh, let me turn on this fan. Okay, I am ready to grill. Let's go.
Okay. So let's go ahead and take the Negima, the original one that we did.
Okay.
And just for the sake of right now, I'm only just gonna grill. You know how we made pairs? We'll just do one. So take the one where take your second one where we had the bigger onions. Because that's
this is the second one.
All right. So I'm gonna take some salt. I have a salt shaker, but if you got your, just use your pinch. Basically, we're gonna be salting all the meat exposed.
And you can do this over the grill.
I did it over the grill just so
Okay.
it's not flying in anywhere.
We are.
But you can also do it over your salt. But I do it over the grill just so that salt that touched the chicken is kind of just going into the grill. I mean, here's where that sake bottle comes in handy, because we're gonna now be spraying. Gotta open it up. We're gonna be spraying right where we salted. We're not gonna be spraying on the skin side because we don't want to add any moisture to the skin side.
Wait, just the skin side?
No, the meat side.
Oh.
Yeah. The skin side, we're not going to put any sake because we want it to get nice and crispy. So this is adding moisture to the meat. The sake is adding moisture, sweetness, and umami into the meat.
Okay.
Along with the salt. So now we got saltness. And then, so let's go ahead and let's put the sake side down. So we'll leave the skin side up.
Do you start left side or right side first?
It doesn't matter. We're only going to be putting on 3 skewers right now. Okay. So then let's take that one with the knee cartilage.
The oysters?
Yeah, you can do the oyster, but I actually got the knee cartilage one.
Oh, okay.
The single one. And then same thing, salt, and then sake. You can also do sake first and then the salt, and sometimes the salt can stick on better.
Gotcha.
But and then the oyster one. Same thing, the salt. And then that junk one that we had.
Junk one?
Yeah.
Can you also throw the skin on here as well?
Yeah, where's your skin?
I had like one piece of skin.
Okay, let me show you. Let me tell you how to do that skin. Where's your skin?
Here's my skin.
Oh, you know what? Don't even skewer it. Just put it on the grill straight up, kind of like cooking Korean barbecue.
Can I just put it on the grill, or does it have to be on the
skewer? You can put it on the grill. Yeah, it's just gonna like shrivel up and become sort of like chicharron. Crispy skin. So that skin, like now I make it as skewers, but if you have leftover skin from whatever you're cooking, I don't know if you ever done this, but basically it becomes kind of like croutons or like some sort of crunchy topping that you can put on a lot of things. Like I put it on ramen, put it on top of salad. There's so much things you can do with the skin.
Guys, is the camera focused for you guys? I can't tell. Let me know if it's not focused, because we got to get the good action on the food. It's the most important part. So, how long does this typically take?
So, the action we want to take with yakitori is the question of when do you want to flip it. So that first skewer that we put on, let's kind of lift it and see. Do you notice that it's sort of sizzling and sort of like I'm gonna call it like glistening, sort of bubbling? I think I can see it on yours. You see it?
Yep.
So that's the juices cooking. That's when we flip it.
Oh, we're flipping it?
Yeah, you can. Rotate it. Yep. So skin side down. And the reason for that is if we don't flip it, all those juices are gonna just fall down. It's gonna fall off the chicken. Now by flipping it, those juices are now covering the top and side of the chicken, so it's cooking in its own juices. So let's go ahead and lift the second one and see. So yeah, this one is my second one is glistening as well. So I'm ready to flip the second one. The third one as well too. So yeah, this grill gets it's not like the hottest, but it gets hot enough, and it's great for an indoor grill. And this is when, just for extra sort of, oh, I want to make sure my chickens are going to be nice and moist and juicy. I just do a kind of a spray, like 2 sprays, covering all of it, just adding some extra sweetness. The sake has a lot of sugar in it, so sweetness and moisture.
Nice. Thank you, Hound of War. Okay, let's get this up so we can see you. There you go. It smells amazing. It smells delicious. Thank you, thank you.
Oh, did you ever end up getting the torch?
I did. I
you
have
did?
one already at home.
Oh, cool. So that's my hack, is basically when you use the electric grill,
Uh-huh.
the electric grill, you see like the orange coils, that actually mimics the Binchotan's infrared. Like infrared is good, that it actually penetrates into the meat and it can cook it from like the inside almost. It actually, so if you cook it with using if you cook it in the oven or using gas or in a pan, the heat goes from the outside in, but with infrared, it actually kind of cooks from the inside out almost, because the heat actually penetrates inside because of the radiation. However, because it's electric, it doesn't have fire. If you cook with charcoal, you have fire. So gas doesn't provide that fire flavor. So if you combine it with our electric grill that you're using and the gas torch, you kind of get the best of the both worlds. And so it's like a hack of kind of cooking it like my charcoal way, but doing it indoors. And cheaper and convenient and much more, it's easier. Like the charcoal, like my charcoal grill takes about 30 minutes to start, whereas this grill, we just turned it on and it was ready to go in like a minute.
Yeah, it was really quick.
All right,
and I can see now the drippings going into the water down there.
So right now we got like the top. So let's start flipping it to the side.
Okay.
And for these skewers, I don't know if they're gonna balance well, so that's why I like to use the other skewers to kind of hold it up a little bit. And it adds some more spray. Spray that side as well.
My skin is looking all shrivelly.
Hey, it's all good.
What's the biggest group of people or party that you have hosted to make yakitori for?
So, like by myself, I would say 20 to 25. There was one that was like 25, I think. But usually, I like to do the 10 ways, the 10-person ones. Those are it's like about 25 courses long though. It's a 4 to 5 hour dinner. There's even like 2 rounds of desserts.
Oh my gosh.
Every part of the chicken plus other skewers and desserts and sort of like appetizers and whatnot. But in terms of like the most amount of people that I had to make yakitori for, there was a wedding with 250 people and I was doing like the happy hour, like hors d'oeuvres. So we did 500 skewers in a 1 hour period in between like the reception and the actual dinner. And that was pretty fun. I had my friend who's a chef, and like we were both on the grill. We had a massive grill, and we basically cooked through 500 skewers. And then we had to, the night before, we pre-skewered them, and then basically kept it on in the fridge and the ice. Went to the wedding site and just got it out.
Nice.
So that was like a lot of work, but it's pretty fun. But I like these smaller ones because then you can really put a lot of attention to each of these skewers. And I would say even in Japan, and I'm flipping it right now, the other side.
Okay.
And I would say even in Japan, by the way, there's sort of 2 different kind of yakitori. Like yakitori as a whole is grilled chicken, but there's the one where it's more festival food, street food, where it's not, like we were doing very careful cuts today.
Mhm.
This is more like the omakase high-end course dinner style yakitori. And then there's the other one where you just have a bunch of thighs and you cut them into blocks and you skewer them because you need to make like 1,000 pieces for like a festival. Like a carnival festival, things like that. And those are like $1 skewer, $1 to $2 skewer. Oh, and I like to add, just like a little bit of salt right now too. Just so maybe some of the salt kind of dripped out.
I'm so excited to eat these. I'm so hungry. And it makes you like more hungry putting in so much work to cut the chicken and stuff. I mean, you cut the whole chicken, but I like cut the thighs and getting on the skewers. I feel like that makes you more hungry. Would you agree?
I think whatever worked, I mean, we didn't hunt the chicken. We didn't hunt the animal.
That's
this is
true.
the best we did. But
We bought the chicken.
it is like my personal philosophy is, yeah, you kind of put in this extra effort, so you have a better appreciation. It's another reason why I really try to tell people like, hey, break down the whole chicken, because then you really get to learn what all the different parts are. And so I understand the chicken now. My next step, and I give props to like people like Max the meat guy, like the people that are really into other meats. I'm actually starting now to understand a bit more about the cuts of beef right now. Like I just I was filming a beef video today for the YouTube. And I was like, okay, I always eat short rib and I like it, but like where does it really come from, and how is it different from, let's say, the other cuts like the ribeye and whatnot too? So it kind of gives you a better appreciation of like anatomy of meat. Like at the end of the day, most of us, we grew up just buying packaged thighs, packaged ribeye, everything just comes packaged, and we don't know where it's from. And now we can appreciate it. So, all right, let's flip it back to the skin side down.
Skin side down. Should I spray it some more, or what do you think?
I think it's looking pretty, like, you got some juicy skewers there, so I think you're okay.
Okay, cool. And then do you add the glaze on at the very end?
Yeah, so I wait till basically my skewers are about 95% done. So pretty much right before serving. And so that's another thing. So with this yakitori tare, I'm dipping in the skewers at the end. So I'm not dipping in raw chicken. So people are like, oh, doesn't that go bad? You're dipping in chicken, but I'm not dipping in raw chicken. It's basically done.
Gotcha.
If anything, so I mean, this is a plastic container that I use for traveling, but traditionally you have a clay pot, basically a ceramic container that actually gets heated up by the hot grill. So this is, like I can put my hand over this, and you can put your hand over this, and you feel fine. But my charcoal grill, like it's super
too hot.
Yeah, you have you're leave it on, and you're like, my knuckle hairs are gone. Like it's really hot. So that heat alone is actually cooking this clay pot. So it's constantly sort of being heated up, and these skewers are reaching temperatures like 400 degrees. So by dipping that in, it's actually the skewers are cooking the sauce too. So there's no way this goes bad. And that's another thing too. Some people like ask me, "Hey, aren't your I saw you touching the skewer handles with your chicken hands. Like, don't you worry about the contamination?" I'm like, no, it's actually being cooked up pretty much.
I'm like touching it. I have to flip it quickly because it's so hot.
Yeah. So there's really not too much to worry about. I worry more about
you know Janelle Eats, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's like, I love the way you describe things.
Like the chicken love handles for the oysters?
Just everything. I think is what she's saying. By the way, chat, Janelle Eats, you should follow her. Shout out to her. Follow her YouTube channel. She makes amazing content.
All right, so I actually just flipped it. Now I'm cooking the body side again, the opposite of the skin.
The opposite of the skin, okay.
Yeah, because my skin's starting to get, and I'll change the camera too. My skin's starting to get a little brown. Not fully brown yet, but it's starting to get a little brown. Let me change the camera.
This smells so good. I am so excited to eat this. And I'm assuming like the smaller pieces, you have to eat those first, right? Since they're cooked quicker.
Yeah, we might. Yeah, the oysters. Let me see your oysters. Okay.
Well, it's because it's just the trash piece. Is that what you called them, right? The trash pieces?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
So
you
yeah, we
call.
got the
I'm
trash
just
piece and
quoting you.
okay.
They're cooking pretty quickly.
So actually, my oysters, I'm gonna just leave it on the skin side. You should flip it to your skin side. They're gonna
Oh,
be done
okay.
pretty quick.
The oysters or all of
Yeah,
them.
the oysters.
Okay.
All right. So if you have your brush, I think you can start brushing your junk skewer right now.
Yes, I got my brush. Go ahead and do it now, or
Just brush onto the junk skewer.
the junk skewer. Okay. We're brushing it on the junk skewer.
Yeah. Please, I'm reading some of the comments. The Miranda Show wants a shout out from you.
You give the shout out. Go for it,
I don't
Yakitori.
know if my shout out counts.
It counts.
I'll give you a shout out, Miranda Show. What's up? Yeah, thanks guys for joining in.
Subscribe to Yakitori Guy's
My
YouTube
whole
channel.
dream is to spread yakitori to the world. Yakitori means grilled chicken. It's my favorite Japanese cuisine. It's my dream. So everyone watching here, like, thank you guys for joining us.
Spreading Yakitori.
Okay, so, oh yeah, so my oysters are definitely getting, the skin is crisping up. So I'm gonna flip, the other ones I'm gonna flip too. The Negima, like the bigger one, let's just flip that. Let's get that skin nice and brown.
Okay.
Yeah. So, did you brush on the junk one yet? No?
Yes, I brushed it on. Should I brush it on both sides?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because, all right, I'll flip back this camera again. Let's see how do I do this. Okay. So what I'm gonna do, I got my cutter here. Okay. So this is that junk skewer dip, and then like you see like all the tare just kind of dripping out.
Mm-hmm.
That's all the chicken fats and flavors going back into my pot.
That is so crazy. Wait, how long did you say yours has lasted?
So it's from January 2018. So I'm gonna say it's like
crazy.
three and a half years old.
Do you take that around when you travel, or?
I do. This container went to Florida and back with me.
That's kind of scary. That's ballsy of you to do.
Well, I have my backups.
Okay.
Yeah,
Perfect.
I left 2 backups at my friend's houses here in California, and now I combined them all. And then I still left them as backups in their fridges. So it's kind of like
Nice.
I don't know, like they're my closest friends that I trust.
Yeah.
But usually, a
awesome.
lot of shops will only have that one pot.
You're flipping?
I'm just checking right now. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm just looking to see how it is.
All this work, I'm so excited to eat this.
Yeah, I know, right? Like it takes a lot of work. And let's see.
You wonder what my apron says? This is what it says. This is actually Holly's apron, and she said she had it today, or she said she had it. I had no idea she even had aprons, but I was like, I need to wear it. And I never wear aprons, so this is like a first for me.
Hey Lisa, what condiments do you get any extra condiments, or do you just have the tare and the salt for now?
What condiments are you talking about?
Did you get to buy any of the tube stuff from my YouTube or my Amazon?
I did not.
Okay, that's fine. So do you happen to have any lemon or lime?
I think I do actually.
We just need a way.
I need to let my roommate look. He's at the door waiting to go out. I gotta let my roommate's dog out real quick.
Yeah, that's fine.
Come. Sorry, when he needs to go, he needs to go.
Yeah.
He'll say it. Okay. Yes, I have lemon. I have lime.
Okay, let's do some lime. Oh, the oysters. Can you flip that real quick? I don't want it to dry out the meat. Let's get the
What did you say?
The oysters. Let's get that skin crispy. The oysters, the second one.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
Let's get the skin crispy. Cool.
Okay. Just cut the lime in half.
Yeah, you just need like a little wedge. You know, like where you'll put in like a Corona bottle. Just a little tiny wedge. We're just gonna squeeze some onto the oyster one. I want you to eat the oyster with just like the lime.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's up, you guys? How's
Alright,
it going?
I don't know if you guys can see, but this is the skin. Not getting brown. This big one's taking a while. I'm actually gonna move it more to the center of the grill.
He wants to come in already. We'll wait a little bit.
All right, your oyster should be ready to eat if it's any timing like mine.
Okay. My roommate's dog is barking to come back in. I'm sorry.
Okay.
We're back.
That's the live. Question I see with on a charcoal grill, how long does it take? It actually takes about the same amount of time. You think because charcoal might be hotter, it's going to be shorter. You actually don't want it too hot. It's just going to end up burning the outside of the skewer, but doesn't really cook through. So on the charcoal, you control the heat, so it's going to be cooking at medium heat. So I think for us, it probably took about 15 minutes on this electric grill, but on a charcoal, it's still going to be like 10 to 12 minutes. It's not like that much quicker. All right, oyster.
Oyster. What should we do?
Okay, my advice is sprinkle on some salt.
Okay.
Just a little bit.
A little bit of salt.
Yeah, a little bit of salt, and then squeeze some lemon on it. And I want you. You worked hard for that oyster.
I did. It's gonna be way too hot for me to eat it, right? I gotta wait.
Well, that's where you have ice.
Wait, did I not put the glaze on this?
No, because I wanted you to eat that one like kind of on its own.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
It should be good. To be honest, it should be good.
Janelle, you're gonna have a Yakitori party with your family. Nice.
All right, let's do a little quick cheers, video cheers.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, ready? Oysters. Cheers.
This sake is so smooth. Okay. Are you eating your oysters?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you already ate one?
I ate one.
Mmm.
It should be super tender.
This is amazing. Oh my gosh.
Mmm.
Cooper is here waiting for some. Oh my gosh. It just fell apart in my mouth, which chicken doesn't really do, but it just did.
Yeah, so that is when you grill yakitori. It's nice because each of the pieces are so small. It's bite size, so it cooks through well. Nothing gets overcooked. Nothing gets over dry. I think we're ready to eat this. The junk one.
Okay. So this one we put the glaze on it.
Yeah, if you want to do another, you can do another sort of rubber glaze.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, put the glaze on. Okay. So same thing if I did my dip. Okay, I'm doing my dip. It's the same thing. You glaze it on. I'm essentially doing the same thing. Now, we'll take the torch, and then just kind of quickly go over it. We're charring the sauce. So it's going to start bubbling up a bit. So you're charring. Do you see the sauce sort of bubbling up?
Yes.
Yeah, that's good. That's going to caramelize the sauce.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Let's go.
Now, you can smell it. It's going to be like smoky sugar, like soy sauce. Yeah. And then now this is the taste of yakitori.
I think you're probably like your heat tolerance in your mouth is probably pretty high because you're used to eating it straight off the grill, right?
Oh, that's interesting. You got the spice tolerance. And
Yeah.
heat tolerance.
I mean, you've got the heat because I'm waiting. There's no way I could eat this right now, but you just like ate it straight off.
Well, that's where you get the cold drinks.
Oh, that's true. Okay. The first thing that hit me was the sweetness,
Mm-hmm.
and then the crunchiness. But that was the skin part. So I want to get to the meat. Oh my gosh. I wish you guys could be eating this right now. It's so freaking good.
All right. These are all pretty much good, but we're gonna give it a little. So I'm gonna do a dip into my tare for these guys. I'm gonna do a brush. Yeah, it's all about this drip. All the basic chicken juices. So, by the way, if I was to do this on charcoal, my skewers will be very smoky. And then whenever I dip, basically that smoky flavor goes into my tare. So my tare right now is very smoky. Like it doesn't taste like soy sauce. It tastes basically like it's a smoke bomb. So it's just very smoky. Now
Nice.
back onto the grill. I basically just want to caramelize the tare on the grill. I'm gonna do that on both sides. But as I said, we got a handy tool, the gas torch.
Yes.
So that's just gonna help expedite
the process.
that caramelization process.
This is kind of fun too, doing this.
Get like the skin is nice and crunchy right now.
All this hard work is worth it. So worth it.
Good.
Thank you for showing me this. I am like ecstatic.
I really just hope basically, yeah, like everyone is watching. If even 20 of you guys make some yakitori this weekend because of this, that'll be dope.
You spread the word of it. You spread the word of yakitori.
I love yakitori.
You do. Oh, I need to eat the skin that has been chilling on here for a minute.
Yeah, did you put salt on it?
I don't think I did.
Yeah, you gotta put some salt on that. But you can put it afterwards and bite it too.
Hot, hot, hot. Why did I do that? Hot, hot, hot.
Hot skin, hot skin.
Okay. Alrighty, here we go. Crispy chicken
Wait,
skin.
which one are you having? Oh, the skin. Yes.
I am so happy right now. This is so good.
That's good.
Did you turn your grill off?
I did because
Okay.
I'm done cooking and I have a cord here. I don't want to trip over it. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad you like. I'm glad you like your grill. I'm glad you like this yakitori because I don't know. It's so simple, but it's because you're putting so much attention into the one bite. Like a whole chicken, it can be good, but you put a lot of attention and love and care into this one bite. So, all right. So let's go with let's go with the negima. This is the whole today. This is what it's about. The negima. So when eat the negima, for anyone joining in now, negi means onion. So this is Japanese. Negi is onion, and ma means in between. So the skewer is chicken thigh that's in between the onion, and that's why it's called negima. So chicken thigh, and then we left the skin on. Really, it should be really juicy, and then we also put the yakitori tare on. So it should be sweet. So let's go for it. Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you, Yakitoriguy.
Oh, that's hot.
It is hot. I actually can't go for it right now. I like touched it barely.
Mmm. That's right. That's where the beer comes in.
What are you drinking? Height extra cold. What is that?
So for yakitori, I actually recommend Asahi. It's like the best beer pairing for yakitori. Asahi.
Yeah. I've had that beer before.
Yeah, Asahi is it says karakushi, which means like spicy or dry, basically, and it really works well with yakitori or like Korean barbecue, like yakiniku. It really works well. But this is Korean beer height. It's extra cold. All right.
Freaking good.
But yeah, so you know how we torched it, right? That torch adds sort of this extra flavor to the tare. It makes your tare even taste better. And now your yakitori just smells better too. And then, so you're still doing the chicken right now? Or did you get to the onion yet?
I'm still in the chicken. It's still hot.
Okay.
But it's so good.
I think what everyone likes about negima is the onion. It's a good, like, accompanying piece to the chicken.
All right, I'm gonna get to it, but it's really hot. I got this.
You need a height extra cold.
I'll just do some sake, but this is absolutely amazing. The meat stays so juicy while it's cooking.
Yeah.
So it's slowly but quickly cooking in a way.
So this is a dip. You know how this grill, right? Our food that we're cooking is sort of floating in the air. It's not touching anything hot. If you're to cook chicken on a pan, the chicken is touching the hot pan. So that surface ends up getting very dried out. You know, some people could call it, oh, I'm searing the chicken, but in reality, you're kind of drying out the outside of the chicken, like a chicken breast or whatever. But if you take the same chicken breast and cook it on a grill, it could be this grill, it could be a charcoal grill. What it does is like it becomes much more juicier because it's not drying out the outside. It's kind of cooking it all at the same time.
The onion, that was delicious. It was a nice like hint of sweetness and bitterness to the chicken. I'm going to be using this grill more for sure. I really like it. What other meats would you recommend cooking on here besides chicken?
You can do cuts of any beef, as long you just have to cut it small. You know, like for this chicken, you know how we had it like kind of just cube size, or even this one's a little bit smaller, or that junk piece is smaller. As long as you do small bites, it kind of it's a good balance between like cooking through it without drying it out. You can't do like a T-bone steak on this or anything, but small stuff you can do.
Okay.
So as long as you sort of cut it into cubes, you can do beef, you can do like pork or pork belly. A lot of seafood, right? Shrimp, scallops, any of that, you can do this on this. No problem. Sausages, no problem on this grill. I don't really put my grill away. It's always like in the kitchen. Like basically I can make toast on it. I can reheat my cold pizza on it. Even like a fried chicken, leftover fried chicken, I just put it on top of this and just kind of flip it and it's good to go.
So it's always on hand.
I do kind of predict the future where, you know, everyone has like an Instapot nowadays. Everyone has like air fryer. I know you don't want more gadgets in the kitchen, obviously, but still, like I can see there's a place for having a tabletop grill like this because you can
Yes.
do like Korean barbecue on it. You can do yakitori on it. Anything that you need to grill without the kind of the troubles of having to do it outside. And of course, it's gonna taste better if you can do it like on a charcoal grill outside. Like I'm not like we're not denying that, but it's like this is so much convenience. Now, no one ever said hot pot because it wasn't made in the right pot is not legit hot pot, right? Like you can do hot pot in any pot. You can, I mean, the same thing. Korean barbecue, like you can do it on electric, gas, whatever. It's still Korean barbecue.
It's true. How did you discover like this grill?
This grill?
Like, why did you recommend
I
this
actually
one
bought
to
it for like doing Korean barbecue at home first. This is like
Oh.
pre-Yakitoriguy days. Yeah. I bought it because it was like maybe $50 on Amazon, and I was like, oh, I can grill small cuts of meat. My favorite for yakiniku, like Korean barbecue style, yakiniku is like the Japanese term for Korean barbecue, but my favorite cut is like short rib, so karabi, or kabi, but in Japanese it's karabi, or gyutan, which is beef tongue. So, all right, we're going for the knee cartilage.
Yes.
Are we going?
Oh yes, we're going for it.
This one,
Here
it's
we
already
go.
down.
Last piece.
This is a one biter. I want you to bite the cartilage and the onion all at once.
Wait. Oh, I forgot we put onion in this. Okay.
Oh, you didn't?
I forgot. No, I did. I put it in there. You can see it.
Okay.
But I forgot that we did do it.
Oh wait, hold on. Then let's have one last small drink before this one because we
Let's
should
do it.
wrap this up.
Beef tongue for the win. Yes, Janelle. I love beef tongue.
It's getting close to 7.
Okay, let me fill mine up real quick.
Yep.
Again, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to show me all this. This was
Thank
so
you,
interesting, so amazing.
Thanks for everyone watching. I hope you guys at least learned what yakitori is. And hopefully you guys will find more. All right.
Yeah.
Cheers. Kanpai. So this is a knee cartilage lollipop. It's actually, let me explain. This cut actually has a fat line of fat on the end. So it becomes very juicy. Oh, you're loving this one. It's so juicy.
It is so flippin' good.
And it's all, by the way, it's all from one chicken.
They come in.
Not yet. Sorry, my roommate just went home. But that piece was absolutely amazing. Green onion was the perfect touch because it wasn't grilled all the way like the other pieces, but just enough inside that I feel like it absorbed the chicken juices.
Yeah. And so you know how I said I gave you hard cuts today? Because Negima and most other places, they'll take that whole chicken thigh and they'll just break it into blocks and skewer it, and you don't know what part you're eating. But today I wanted to separate it so you know all the different parts you're eating, including the last part you just ate. That's a specific muscle of the thigh that has a piece of fat running all the way through. So that's why you had a squirt of this like sort of fat juiciness at the end. That's because there's a whole fat in the middle. It's like a fat. It's like eating like a xiaolanbao or something. Like you get this fat. So that's why I'm obsessed with yakitori. Where even a simple chicken thigh that uses you bought a chicken thigh, but even from that we can make like 3 or 4 different types of skewers that all sort of taste and textures are different. So I'm glad you got to experience it.
So also what I loved about this is we like put in the work to cut the chicken thighs, put it on the skewers, and then cook it all. But also we're not like overeating where we're overindulging ourselves and we can't appreciate the food. And I really appreciated that. Knowing that there's no more food now because we just ate it all, it makes me appreciate it more for what we had. So that's freaking amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean that was freaking amazing. Yakitoriguy, any last words?
I would love to just give any like last 30 seconds, a minute to anyone who has any other questions. But if not, basically you guys know where to find me. I'm on Yakitoriguy on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. my whole basically dream is I just want more people to know about yakitori the way I know yakitori, and I'm glad that we got to take some time today so you can experience even just out of a chicken thigh, all the different flavors and cuts. So imagine what you can do from a whole chicken, because we have so many other parts that we didn't make skewers today. So
I'm definitely going to be rewatching it to like cut up the chicken and stuff, the whole chicken. But yeah, if you guys have any questions for Yakitori guy, like we can answer it now while we like take another sake shot, maybe.
yeah.
Does it
Quickly
taste
going through the
different?
questions. Yeah. Lazy. Goodbye, charcoal. Hello, electric. Same. I actually I use my charcoal grill on the weekends, but during the week I love my electric grill. Does it taste different on metal skewers? It's not about the taste. It's more about it's harder to handle the metal skewers. The metal skewers get pretty hot, so it might not be easy to flip them around as controlled as you can with the wood skewers. Can you make mushrooms on the grill? Yeah, you can definitely make like shiitake mushrooms, very popular one, but enoki mushrooms, all these different mushrooms, you just cut them in ways that it grills perfectly. One of my favorites is actually enoki mushrooms wrapped in bacon. So enoki mushrooms are kind of, springy all over the place, but if you wrap it in bacon, it becomes a solid piece. So you can do that.
I
Uh,
need to try that. That sounds amazing.
Cool. Yeah, but yeah, you just if you guys have any other questions or want to learn more, Yakitoriguy, that's who I am. Yakitori means yaki means grilled, chicken means tori means chicken or bird. Yakitori, that's what this is, and I love it, and I want to just share this with everyone. So thank you guys for watching, and you guys know where to find me.
Someone's asking what we made. So Negima, yes.
Negima, yep. Negi means onion, and ma means in between.
Negima. Nagima. Negima thigh and onion yakitori. With the yakitori guy. All right, any last questions? You're going to try to make it for your family. Nice. See, yakitori guy, like you're already spreading the word. That's what you wanted to do. And there you go. You're doing it.
And thank you, Lisa, for giving me this opportunity and platform to, just share the word. And
yeah, I'm excited to see you grow on all the platforms.
Yeah.
Like, I know you will. So, alrighty, guys, I'm going to end the stream. But Yakitori guy, again, 1,000 thank yous for doing this with me, teaching me this.
Do you have anything left in your cups?
I can do another sake shot. And to the chat, thank you so much for joining. Make sure to follow Yakitori guy on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok, because he's going to teach you a ton of more stuff. So,
and if there's any of my Yaki gang on here, thank you guys for watching, and make sure to follow Lisa because she's basically showing all her food creations and food journey. And I enjoy basically watching you grow, and I'm glad that now you can add chicken to your repertoire or yakitori to your repertoire. So, kanpai.
Excited. Cheers.